Do whatever I
I already
Hey,
know what's on your mind.
That's right. I'm taking my belt off for this one.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Ad
Hashtag-
Absurdum.
Hashtag no belts.
Never take you take my belt.
Ad Absurdum Nights.
I know that belt. Welcome to the Sick Cast and the Sick and the Dying Cast, starring yours truly, Alex Adams.
And Dallas. And
On Mike, too. I've already removed 2 articles of clothing you guys are behind.
special episode because, well, 2/3 of us are sick, but
1/3 of us is in the right country.
yeah, I'm finally here in Canada doing a recording.
1/3
So
of us is wearing a belt. I gotta not look at this waveform. I'm gonna look this way at my delicious treatment right here.
yeah, so it's been a little bit of a while. We've all been pretty busy, but since I've been in Canada for a few weeks, I've had a couple of little. I basically tried to make as many excuses for people to celebrate my birthday. So I was home, I did my birthday there. I was in
Very
Toronto, I did my birthday there, and I'm going to do my birthday again when I go back to France. So we thought for today's podcast, we would talk about what makes a good party.
What makes the perfect or the bad party?
Oh yeah, what makes the
The elements of
the spectrum of partying.
the dichotomy of a good versus a bad party.
The business of Bacchus, yeah.
That's good. Oh my god. I wish I had it. Who has ever been to a bacchanalia before? Anybody with the wine and the drugs? No?
Yeah, it sounds like my scene. I mean, right?
Well, you don't eat for 3. Oh no, that might be the mystery cults. But you don't eat for a couple days, and you break your fast on a nice wine of mushrooms. You mix the mushrooms with wine, and then you go ham. It's very, very good.
That's a lot of food words in the same sentence. You go ham when you have mushrooms and wine. Anyway. Yeah, so where do we want to start? We want to start with, well, we just had a party. Hopefully you guys liked it.
I loved it. It was.
I didn't set up this whole podcast just to fish for compliments. It's actually Alex's idea.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
If you like parties.
But I mean, like, people were asking me a lot of questions about, like, well, what are the details of the party? And I'm like, show up, there will be food, and here's when and where. Bye. Because I didn't want to overcomplicate it. Like we've all thrown parties and we've orchestrated events and made like grand whatever.
Good events.
And I'm like, this is like the tail end of my tour in Canada for early 2018, and I just wanted my friends to be there. I wanted to provide them with food because otherwise they'll be like, well, I have to leave because I don't have anything to eat and I will die. It's a biological imperative. There wasn't even really music on the whole time because we were just like talking.
It's the perfect vertical slice because there's a lot of factors going on in that situation.
Well, the good news, the thing is for us it's easier because everybody who was there was pretty good friends and very interesting people. So I didn't need to like make sure that there was like, okay, now when there's this lull of silence, we can do a party game. Like those are fine, and we'll get into that. But this party was like the most like low planned thing ever because I just needed to have all the people in one place with food, and that was all I did.
Just let it happen.
Our friends were very generous, and they let us use their space, and they cleaned it up and kind of moved some furniture around. But really, that was the only planning behind it.
I think that to begin, because you can probably, in my opinion, you can probably break this up into like, okay, what makes a good party, what makes a bad party? You got location, people, and like everything else.
Look, you're both wrong.
Enlighten us.
The answer is cleric, rogue, fighter, wizard. Or something that fits those archetypes.
That's part of it.
You bunch of weirdos. And second of all, I mean, the answer is know your audience.
That's I think crucial.
There's no such thing as the perfect party.
Yeah.
I mean, actually there is, but it's going to be different for different people.
Yeah.
There was nowhere near enough ecstasy and blow at our party.
But that's
there's no stem cell party, right?
Yeah.
No stem cell party elements.
That will grow into whatever party you need.
Yeah, the party warehouse. They just sell
gel.
Amorphous mass that you throw at your guests, and they're suddenly having the best.
You know it's called drugs, Dallas. That's
the Omni party.
It comes in a convenient can. You spray in all the cracks and social lubricant.
I'm going to put timestamps in this where every time we just circle back to drugs, even though none of us really do them.
Well, we are talking about parties.
Yeah.
But like, oh man, I think that like you talked about classes, but I think that's actually really like apt because you want to know the people that are involved in the party. Like you want to have. And some people are forced into parties. If raise your hands digitally through the digital space, our listeners, if you've ever been at an office party or a super awkward party where you don't know anybody, I had a situation when I was in university where I was literally the only person that wasn't this tight knit group of people that all knew each other and all had in jokes
Was
for one
this
another.
was this a Brennan party, but a younger Brennan party? Because I heard about that.
No, that was an amazing party.
Yeah, but-
the mustache party.
Ain't no party like a Brennan party.
You
The
showed-
Brennan party's got mustaches.
The story, ladies and gentlemen, that I heard from an outside perspective was the older brother was like, oh, I gotta go because I gotta get to this party that my younger brother's throwing, and Alex is gonna be there, and he doesn't really know anyone. And then the next message he gets on his phone is from the younger brother being like, oh man, your friend Alex is here. He knows everybody because you went around and like I'm Alex Adams, I'm Alex Adams, I'm Alex Adams, and everybody like, you know, you
responded well to that.
well, you know, it's like if you're doing driver's ed, you learn about being the like aggressive driver, where it means
I'm aggressively
you
friendly.
control the situation by taking the initiative.
Yeah, that was definitely
aggressively friendly.
Yeah.
Is a great sentence.
tender aggression. That's what's up. But yeah, if you have the inverse of that,
You
unfortunately.
will love me, motherfucker.
You better love. You're gonna love. Oh yeah, Mike Tyson quote. Ooh, look that up. There was a situation where I came in and
Everyone loves me until I get bit. Sorry.
no, I'm gonna have love bites. It was a really bad one, but I'm not
Beat me
gonna.
by 1 second.
Yeah, right. No, everyone knew each other but me. I didn't know anybody. I also wasn't feeling it that night, and I mean those are one of those incalculables when you're putting people together. As a party planner, parties can be very stressful. I think we can all agree that if you are like the host, you're probably in a position like kind of a pseudo leadership position, but you're also in the position where you're gonna have the least fun, at least in my opinion. Like you if things aren't going well, if it's your house or you've hosted it, it's kind of under your purview to be like, okay, well, you know, the chip bags need to be refilled, or like this needs to happen, that needs to happen. So having that sort of like planning aspect is a factor. At the time, I wasn't feeling that party, and I just left after 45 minutes because someone started to show a like a PowerPoint presentation of like, here's how, and that's kind of like a red flag. But they're like, oh, look at all these work jokes. And it was like a banal picture of like a potted plant, and it was like, oh, Jimmy, remember like Scoodly Bop, and everyone would start laughing, and I'd be like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, here's a PowerPoint reference of our inside joke. Don't you laugh because you're not inside it? But
let me explain that to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, having a cohesive group of people and having knowing what Mike said, knowing your audience and you want to know what are you planning for? What are you celebrating? Is it just like in Dallas's situation? Or are we just celebrating the presence of a beautiful man, Dallas K, and his Jesus-like figure to congregate around?
Now they know which one I am in the banner photo.
Good job, asshole.
I'm the one that looks like I'm legit about to murder everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
In any case, so you
I
want
don't
to know?
exist.
You're the centerpiece, my bro. You want to know what it's going to be about. So is this an adult party? Is this a drinking party?
Adult party.
You know what I'm talking about.
You know it's an adult party when your keys go in a fishbowl.
Is this a house party? Is this a party? Is this going to be in a bar party? Let's say you have somebody who's in Al-Anon, or somebody who hates to drink. Or maybe 60% of your retinue hates to drink, or really, really hates loud music. Are we going to be going to a rock concert? Or maybe you really want to catch up with people and you haven't seen, XYZ person for a long time. Maybe picking like a movie is probably not going to be the best situation because everyone's going to be sitting beside each other looking at a theater. So, I mean...
But you could also at the same time say like, oh, these people don't like music, but we're going to take them to a concert because that might open their perceptions because they haven't been in 15 years.
Yeah, it's but again, that comes down to knowing how receptive they might be to that. Like they have to...
Or... tricking them because they're evil.
Yeah, this is fair. It really depends if you're dealing with some closed-minded or introverted people. Sometimes you have to like drag them or push them.
And how good you are with paper mache. you just paper mache over the door to the concert with like museum exhibition, and then like you walk in and it's a concert and you just tear down everything. You're like,
got me
I
again.
fooled you.
These X's are just painted off. Oh my god, painted on.
Yeah, so knowing what you're doing in terms of why you're having the party and who's coming, and I mean like we haven't really planned. I don't think I'm just kind of speaking for us, but have any of you planned for a party that has people that you don't really know or really hang out with, like a big house party or like a I don't know, some kind of like open house sort of thing. Like most of the parties I've planned in the last like I don't know, let's say decade have been with people I know pretty well. So that is something we have to kind of couch because it's like how do you plan a party for them? Just put them in a room, like right. But yeah, talking about like if it's like a work party or like people you kind of know or you met at one thing and now you're trying to come together for something else, that can be pretty difficult.
If having worked in catering for a while, having done like various things with a fraternity I belong to, and having to sort of plan in a catering aspect, if you don't really know, or if it's like an office party, let's say, and you don't really know who drives with who, and you're not really sure what people's interests are, you pretty much are only relegated to sort of feng shuiing the area, which is important.
Yeah. Well, let's go through that. Because, so you just mentioned food.
Yes.
Right? Food is essential, but there's a lot more to it than people think. But once you know that, you can actually. It's one of those things where it's like once you master it, it's super easy.
Yeah.
But if you don't master it, you're gonna have a disaster of a party.
You're gonna be falling off.
Because you're like, guys, I got like gluten-full, peanut-full, like meal, and then all these people are like, meat sack burritos, and people are like, I don't eat meat, I don't eat whatever, like they have allergies or they have
glutina.
Yeah.
Spread it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aerosol mist.
Like you joke, but there's a type of cracker called glutino.
Ew.
Guess what? It's gluten free.
I want to.
I saw it the first time and I was like, no, that's the wrong name.
Yeah.
No glutino.
Anti-glutino.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. With a hyphen.
Yeah, it needs a hyphen.
Can we get sponsorship from Glutino, please?
Yeah. Let's call your people. Call our people.
Can't even taste that gluten.
Taste the absence of it. I want to asterisk something because the first thing you want to know is when and where. Your party is.
Yeah.
Because I can't think, and this is speaking of a chronic, and I'm getting better. Hi, my name's Alex. I'm a, non-scheduler. Hi, Alex. We appreciate you sharing. This is coming from a chronic non-scheduler, like schedule shorker. I can't think of a...
You?
I'm getting better. I'm throwing myself under the bus, so you two can't throw me under the bus yet. In order to have a successful party, the first thing you need to do is you need to tell everybody when it is, and you need to make sure that they know when it is, and you also need to tell the people where it is, and you need to make sure that they all know where it is, and that they're all coming, and that is important.
So when and where and communicating that, obviously very important, and I can...
Email.
This is something... we can talk about in a different podcast, but I don't like when people let me know about an event way too close to when it is. My parents heard about a wedding a week ago, but they only got confirmation as to location and date and time 2 days before the wedding.
See, that's not...
And it's like, no. I mean, they weren't, it was their friend's son, so it wasn't they absolutely had to be there, but... Yeah, I hate it so much that even if the party's amazing, I almost resent the lack of preparation you've allowed me to have to the point that I don't want to go.
I feel like if you get location confirmation 2 days before the date of a wedding, they don't want you there.
Yeah.
Not to be mean, but weddings are expensive.
No, right? Well, I said,
you probably get the 2 days before the wedding confirmation because they're like, we like you, we think you're great. But we don't like $300 a plate like you, so please don't come.
Can he make it to Bolivia in 2 days? Let's see.
It was a combination of that because it was the son who rarely like my parents, and it was also because they were just bad at the communication. He's like, well, I called and left a message. It's like, you left a message to a guy who never checks his messages. So.
Communication is so key.
Yeah, so obviously communicating that, good. And then into food, first thing, check allergies.
Check those allergies, make sure people and also you might, now something that you did the other day on Facebook, which I loved, even though it the follow through wasn't, we how do I put this? We didn't end up doing what it was, but I loved it.
We did. I'll tell you what. The leading vote was pizza.
Oh, never mind. Oh, well, there you go. But I
can see what you're saying. Yeah, we created a poll. I created a poll and was like, all right, guys, because most parties just order pizza because you can get whatever you want on it and it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's also a really good party food because you can hold it in one hand,
You can talk,
hold
yeah.
a drink in the other,
Yeah.
talk, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, we always do pizza. Let's see if there are other options.
Mix it up.
And I threw a bunch up there and said, feel free to add your own.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of votes. But by the end, it was like 9 pizza and 8, a 3-way tie for like Mexican, Chinese, and Indian.
Yeah.
And it was
And
like,
you didn't get Mexican, Chinese, Indian food.
no, I did not.
Disappointing.
Just Central Asian in general.
It's called fusion. Look it up.
Yeah.
So basically what I've learned so far is that the best way to avoid having to deal with people is to tell them last minute wrong directions. Only serve food that people either don't like or
Yep.
are allergic to,
Yep.
Yeah.
so that if they come, there is a chance they will die.
Yep. Spice
fun.
it up a bit.
Yeah, and just don't take input.
Don't bathe.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
don't bathe is obvious.
Don't clean
I
the-
mean,
don't-
I'm already doing not that, so.
Yeah, I had to
Don't
spend this
clean
time
anything.
preparing.
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, you should just have weird peanut butter smears everywhere to just spice it up a little
So
bit. For
peanut
the,
butter is an excellent cleaning agent.
It's just
Because it's peanut oil.
peanut oil. Yeah.
Cleans
It's
very well.
astringent.
But also peanut butter is gritty. So
Yeah.
it's it works like sandpaper.
What we're saying
So
here is
you can clean very effectively your entire house with peanut butter.
don't have toilet paper in your house. Just have a jar of peanut butter.
I just wipe with that.
It's just-
After 2 wipes, you're like, is that peanut butter or is it
You
shit?
just
Who can tell?
How will I know?
Go
it
about
does?
with your day.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so check for allergies. Sometimes, like when I first got to university, I had never run into such a wildly diverse set of allergies and food preferences.
He killed
because-
4 people before we got parties figured out.
Yeah,
Crazy,
it
yeah.
was a sad time, but I mean, whatever.
Dark
It's
ages.
all retconned anyway.
They're
so-
not friends anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They're
very
dead.
nice. Yep.
But yeah, so you had to account for that. I mean, I remember one of my birthday parties. It was like I had to avoid dairy, gluten, peanuts, and some kind of fish. I think because
Yeah.
there was a worry about that. And it was just like, yeah, trying to buy things and make sure it wasn't like you can be like, well, I can get 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
You had to make sure like all
Spin the
4
wheel.
were avoided, right?
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
at the least, what we did last night was all the snacks were peanut free and they were fine. And then the cake, we weren't sure about the cake, so we got peanut free cupcakes.
Nice.
And it was like, fine, you can have those if you want, and other people can too, as long as they don't usurp the one who only can eat that.
That's fair.
And then the cake was available for everyone else. So yeah, having separate stuff is fine. Again, try to set it up so it's not like you have this. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, if you want this is especially
Yeah.
like careful and for you.
Universal design. Like you don't want to have like a special thing for the guy who can't eat
Yeah.
eat meat or chooses not to eat meat. You have a
We're not,
variety
this
of
isn't,
dishes.
this isn't elementary school where we send the kid into the private closet to eat their lunch
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're bringing the one food that's contaminated.
Precisely.
I mean, But
I wanted to talk about
It's a
how
different
I
kind
was.
of party.
No, that's true. The fact that I got to choose, like the fact that I got to vote over the different foods, made me excited. Even though I didn't get the choice I wanted, it was like, ooh, we might be having Indian food that night. So like even having like a
Oh, my
venue
butthole is
choice,
gonna be so mad. This
so
is gonna be awesome.
spicy. The Ganges unveiled today. So that was even like you might, if you're creating some sort of party for some people, you might want to consider some sort of player agency or some sort of party goer agency where it's like, where would you guys like to go if you're going to a venue, or what would you like? We haven't even thought. We could talk about this later.
Christ, do you just not want to have a party?
yeah.
If you put that kind of agency in the hands
Yeah.
of the people that you're inviting,
Well,
nothing will happen.
you want to do a little bit.
It's
of that.
control.
That's true.
It's controlled illusion of choice is what it is.
There you go. Railroad it.
Walmart buys their competitor, and then their competitor creates a competitive product, and you're like, oh, I have the choice between Walmart and store B, and it's like, no, you're still feeding Walmart. It's yeah, because I was just about to chime in with the same point. Is yeah. You want it, like, it'd be nice to give some people some agency, but if you give them too much, I mean, ask 6 people what they want for dinner. Ask your partner what they want for dinner. You're never going to get an answer.
That's a 45-minute question.
So
That's an Ad Absurdum.
I don't know.
So
I don't know. What do you want? Well, I don't want that, but you just said you do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah,
I would
like,
do anything for love, but I won't.
But I won't
that.
eat that.
Very well, yeah. So for that, it was like, okay, the when and the where was fine, and I put up the vote, and then if everybody had voted Indian and nobody had voted anything else, I'd be like, okay, and I would have searched out an Indian place, asked the people whose like apartment we were using if there's anything close by, and we would have gone with that.
Yep.
Because then it's still, they had the agency to change the outcome of the party, but but I didn't have to like. It sounds bad.
We're going to Laser Quest.
I was gonna say it sounds bad to say I didn't have to rely on anybody else to do it, but I knew how and what I wanted, and I was willing to pay for it, so I could go ahead and do that. So yeah, that's another thing is you can't delegate too many tasks to too many people unless you have like the alpha group that's like gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm glad that the agency, the interactivity of choice, and I just. Like I said, normally we don't even do that. We just wait, and then people go, what do we want to do? And we pull out like 8 menus, and we just order pizza.
Which is totally a thing as well. Like, that can be, I could conceivably think the other extreme where, and I'm remembering the SpongeBob SquarePants episode where he overplans the party. Did you ever see that one?
No, but that's a great reference.
There's a very apt SpongeBob episode where he overplans the party, where he's got like 15, I can't remember specifically, but he's like, there's like conversation starters on cue cards and like party games out the wing wang, and everyone was like super stressed, and like everyone is having fun at the party, and then SpongeBob comes in and he's like over stressing about people having fun in the party. I think that's another killer too.
Yeah,
if you're stressing too much, then that's going to be a problem. You want to think about, okay, you're ordering food. Is it going to be a sit-down dinner party, or is it going to be more casual? Is it going to be buffet style? Is it going to be a la carte? Is someone delivering the food to you?
No matter what kind of party you're having, the correct answer is medieval times.
Baby Dragon.
Always go to medieval times for a meal,
Mm-hmm.
and then go back to whatever you were doing. No matter where in the world you are.
Going to a thing, I would agree with that 100%.
No, not a thing.
Yeah.
Medieval times.
You got to wake. You just go to medieval
times. Yeah.
Just put.
We're gathered here today to see some lances.
Oh man.
Green team representing the deceased. The red team.
You go weekend at Bernie's in the chair next to him.
No, put him on the horse. Make him the king.
Make him the target.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So you want to think about like the reason why being if you have a dinner party or if you're going to medieval times. Is everyone going to be walking around with their food, or is everybody going to be sitting around a table eating food?
Yeah, and that's another thing that once you just you as the host, the organizer of the party, once you've decided that, or you've kind of casually like polled the audience to see what they would like to do, once you've decided that, then you need to lock that down. And then you tell everybody that's what we're doing.
You say dinner's at this time, we'll be having this.
Yeah,
and
because if you show up thinking you're just gonna have pizza and it's just gonna be like a casual thing, and they're like, oh no, we've set the table. You're having like
that's an important question too.
And it's like, oh, I didn't dress for this. I didn't bring anything.
Yep.
I'm not prepared. Whatever.
So unless I'm misunderstanding, the question was how to plan the perfect party, and the long-winded answer is. Think about how you would do that, tell people, and then do it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's the spine of it.
Yeah.
That's absolutely it.
Yeah, and you can stop now if you don't want to listen to the rest of it.
Congrats, you're welcome. Mikey's got your back.
What are those
See you next week.
The next thing is...
We gotta have a legit musical interlude right now.
Now we're gonna start naming off our Patreon supporters. First up, we got...
Butt.
Guy.
I don't know, like a butt or something?
Yeah.
God.
Frank. But it's just what it is that I've noticed that some people like this stuff is very obvious, and a lot of times we talk on Ad Absurdum, we take a very obvious thing and we just drive it into the ground of absurdity. But we know a lot of people, and we've seen people plan parties whether they're in or outside of our friend group, and it's clear that they don't know about the obviousness of these things. They ask everybody what they want to do for dinner, and nobody knows, and nobody pays, and nobody it doesn't work out. They need
a shoulder shia.
A shoulder shia?
A shoulder shia.
Shia LaBeouf.
Just do it.
Yeah. They don't have a clear idea of like the theme or the way the party goes. They maybe they try to bring. We're gonna come to the next topic, which is like I guess
fetish gear.
Well, I was gonna say
that could be a theme.
I was gonna say entertainment. So yeah, it falls into the category. But
I'm so smart.
But just like what you want to do at the party, or what you want to do, because like for us,
hope to accomplish.
Yeah, or just like also entertainment as a means of carrying you through awkward silences, because this is something that like people don't get is put like 15 people in a room with like, I don't know, wine and crackers. Yeah, there'll be some talking.
Somebody's gonna die.
Yeah, and then and then murder mystery night. But like, there's gonna be talking, there's gonna be mingling, but it's gonna be fairly like quiet, and the momentum of the party won't really go anywhere. Put some ambient music on in the background, and that instantly changes.
Oh, I'm such
combination of people have to talk a little bit over the music, so they actually are encouraged to like emote and like speak louder. And also music just helps to keep the silence from engulfing people in social awkwardness.
I'm gonna throw out some albums right now for people interested in doing any kind of ambient mood. Nujabes has an album called Restaurant Mixtape Side A and B. Get that, put that on. Still Life by Kodomo. Hours by Tycho is another great album. Anything by Matt Ullman, or the soundtracks to Oblivion or Assassin's Creed series. If you have that in your retinue, because the last thing you want to do is put on a radio, in my personal opinion. I think that's so hokey and dumb, and no one wants to sit through an ad block, and it's the same as having like a 24-hour news station television screen in your party. You don't want to do that.
I was going to recommend NPR.
You don't want to do that.
Nothing gets a party jumping like listening to
conspiracy theories.
45 minutes of... Okay, so coming up next on this hour's 45-hour interlude about crackers, we're going to discuss saltines.
More lip smacking. That's some ASMR for the people.
Yeah, I'll try to put some links in the description below if I can find that stuff.
I might be. I can throw it in a comment.
I'm pretty sure you can find NPR.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's such a good tip, because people have a fear of social silence. If there's cool music on. Also, Football Head by Flamingosis. That's my last. That's a single track, but whatever.
Flamingosis?
Flamingosis is the artist. Oh. And it's a concept piece from the soundtrack of Hey Arnold for you 90s kids.
I'm pretty sure I have an uncle that died of flamingosis.
Too much shrimp.
Too much shrimp.
Yeah.
You ever seen a man turn pink?
You ever seen a man turn pink?
Yeah. So. Yeah, it helps with the social situations. It also sets the tone and the mood of your party, right? Like if you're doing like a fancy luncheon, then it's kind of classical or like very yeah. But if you're doing like, I want to get this party going, obviously music is like one of the first things. And again, it's obvious. But I've been to a couple of parties where there's either no music or the music is so wildly like different or even distracting. Like you mentioned the radio. Imagine putting on. I mean, some music.
I can't get Donald Trump. All
right, no, I have a better side quest for you here.
Side quest.
What volume do you need to play Exhibit for it to be appropriate at a fancy luncheon at high tea?
High tea.
Yeah.
We're talking early Exhibit.
Your grimiest. Give me your grimiest Exhibit.
I only know one Exhibit song, and I forget the name of the song right now. I don't know, throw some Onyx on there, some DMX would be pretty cool. Maybe some ODB.
Yeah, sure. So now, how
maybe
are you
I like it raw.
Am I able to adjust settings within the song, or is it all or nothing? Like, can I like make vocals like 0 and make like the music louder?
No, you have to be able to interpret what's happening.
3 out of 10. It'll be a 3 out of 10 because you hear the treble. What you want to do is hear the treble, and all you hear is like. And you're like, oh, okay, well, what is this, sort of minuet or some sort of like nouveau riche reinterpretation of Bach? And then you're like, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. And you're like, oh, is this tartare then? Shimmy, yay. Give me the mic so I can take it away. And then I've got the high tea.
So that's my new query here is, how do you make a fancy party that utilizes the aspects of parties that we would not enjoy?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm talking like crazy music.
Yep.
Volume, drugs.
Yeah.
Honestly, too many people.
All right. Well, let's jump into that for a fun aside. So let's talk about drugs. How would we get drugs into a party? For me,
yeah,
I would appreciate like what's it called? Almost like you know you go to like a buffet style.
Yeah.
But it's like you can make like a party sub and you can make like a party platter.
Yep. Yes.
I would appreciate this with like little name tags and things like, oh, so that's what methamphetamine looks like. And this is what you do. And it's like, yeah, here, put on the spoon or however you take it and do the thing.
Yeah. See, I would say you need a maitre d'.
Yeah. Like a sommelier, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
yes. What kind of mood are you going for? Transcendental?
You want a body high.
Yeah.
You know, sommelier, and you need like a space.
A caregiver.
Yeah, that's
caretaker.
That's brilliant. I don't like drugs, but that would be interesting to be a part of, especially someone who knows their stuff, and they also know how to like, you go up to like.
We're talking black tie.
Yeah.
We start with the black tie, and then everyone starts getting weird. I
went to like a kind of reunion of alumni from my university, different like my master's university, and they were like, here, you get 2 drink tickets, go up to the bar and get what you want. And I was gonna just get ginger ale because that's what I always get because I don't drink. And I was like, no, let's try something different. So I went up and I just said, I was like, hi, I don't drink. She's like, okay. And I'm like, I would like something kind of fruity, kind of like spicy, and I don't know what to do. What would you suggest? And she brought me back some kind of like ginger lemon thing. It was really good.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I like the idea of being like, I've never done any drugs.
How do you want to get fucked up today, sir?
I want to see colors that don't exist.
Yeah.
Or like, I want to be the calmest ever. Like,
I mean, like, I have a favorite sommelier because I live in the Niagara region, so I've done like 80 million wine tours, and there's this guy named Dave, and he's worked at a bunch of different wineries. And he's gonna make the best wine ever someday, I'll tell you right now, because he's got the right attitude. He's beyond knowledgeable.
He's a rookie, but he's going places.
Yeah, that is exactly true, right? I got his rookie card, and I'm so happy.
Oh my god!
And we were at Foreign Affair when he was working there, and everyone was asking him questions, and he was funny and witty and on, and everyone was like, oh, well, what would you pair this with? And he's like, well, okay, this one's a little bit dry, so you want to mix it with something high, that's gonna have tannins so that it'll bind really nicely and stuff like that. And eventually I got like really bored, and I'm like, all right, if I wanted to have mac and cheese, what wine would you go? And without skipping a fucking beat, dude drops me 2 different wine recommendations and explains why they would go well with macaroni Kraft. Mac and cheese.
Kraft dinner,
Specifically Kraft dinner.
Oh my god.
And like with a scientific explanation of why, and also taste recommendations from his own past.
I'm just thinking of this.
And I'm like, that's what you need.
Yeah.
That's
you need a guy who's coming from the depths.
Yeah, who knows his shit.
I like that. I'm thinking of the sommelier character from John Wick 2, where he's like he's showing him all the guns.
Yes.
And it's like, you're gonna want like a finger grip and the.
I felt like that was a bit on the nose, actually. That scene where it was like, I want like a sweet finish. Like the fucking food metaphors were like leaving me. It was like I wanted.
No, I thought it was
some like meaty shotgun.
Like the tone of his voice was sarcastic, so it brought me back in. But yeah.
Also, it was Daenerys Saul, so I was like, I'm on board. You can do whatever you want.
So okay, drugs. I mean, anybody.
But I got one more for you.
All right.
You ever eat a powdered donut?
Yeah.
And then, like, right before you come in for the bite, you kind of, like, the nostril opens up and you accidentally get that powder in there.
Right.
Blow. Dust it all over.
Oh!
You got a nice sweet donut, you just, take your finger, you lick it.
So yours is more of like a...
It's a vector.
Yeah.
Yeah, precisely. You got pot brownies, you got blow donuts.
Right.
You got some sort of heroin punch with the needles floating around. So it gets them on your tongue.
So it's like a row of shots, and you don't really know what they are, but you're like, I'm willing to try them or whatever.
Yep.
So there's no sommelier leading you through it, but it's like
Wild West, buddy.
You kind of know new ways. It's
again, know your audience.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we just talked drugs. We just talked, what was it, like loud
We
music?
got food. How about you ever a theme party? You ever do like black? We talk about black tie, like hard rap black tie. I think because we're talking about constraints. You want to constrain your audience, not too much choice, railroading it. Don't just have 6 people being like, what are we wanting for dinner? If it's like for instance, like that fishbowl, anything but a cup party, where we had to drink alcoholic beverages out of anything but a cup. If you constrain your party goers to say, you got to wear this or you got to do that, crazy hair day. We all get our hair cut at the same day. You got to be bald. whatever. You might experiment, party planners, with a possible theme that might make your party get crazier.
So for the purposes of our hypothetical,
Giga party.
Yeah, giga party.
Giga party.
I want to put a population on here now. I'm gonna say 150.
Ooh, we're cranking it up. Okay.
Yeah, it's 150.
We didn't
people.
talk about that. Yeah, the amount of people.
Yeah. All right.
So that means that you're not just going to be inviting your closest friends here to the drug sommelier that you've spent like $2 million on.
Big.
Then you know what I want first thing? I want somebody at the door. I want a greeter.
Oh yeah.
I want
big muscular man.
It doesn't have like. It's
no,
not
I
even,
need muscles.
You know, it's yeah.
You need muscles?
I need someone with good energy who can like.
I want Alex.
Yeah. You want someone.
I appreciate that.
You want someone who's like, hey, welcome to the party, pal. Here's all the stuff that you got going on, and then they let you go. It's an onboarding experience because when I get to a party,
we're talking tickets. Like you need tickets.
The first thing I do when I get to a party is I literally scope the room and I'm like, all right, what?
Invitation, not a ticket.
Yeah.
What is here? What is there to do? Right? Because you don't want to miss out. Like maybe you didn't know there was a chocolate fountain and there were blow donuts over there. Like you
blow nuts, if you will.
Yeah. So
wait, no, if you want will. That's not nope.
No, I think that if you've got the sommelier, you can't have blow donuts. Like, there's no buffet.
Yeah.
Like, there's a buffet, but it's for the chocolate fountain.
Right.
Yeah, no,
but I'm just saying, like, for me, if we're gonna have that many people in like the thing, I would kind of like it doesn't have to. You don't have to have a greeter at the door, and obviously that can be done very badly.
No, I think you have to.
Yeah.
I think for a population of 150.
You can't just have crashers coming in.
Yeah, like
true.
there's no way.
Yeah,
I wasn't even need someone to take invitations, and then be like, all right, this thing's this way, this thing's that way. Here's a map on the back of your invitation.
Yeah,
all that shit.
You should have people guarding your party because I have been to Halloween parties that have gotten like that. Where it's like it's an open door policy. We're like forget friend groups. It's like come on, like it's a rager, right?
It's like I heard noise across the street.
Right, exactly. So you just have the doors open, and we went in to the wrong party, and I said that I know Greg or whoever, and they're like, oh yeah, who is it? Like they misheard the name because it was so loud, and we ended up partying for 3.5 hours in the wrong party, and people just kept coming and coming and coming.
Was that experience positive or negative?
Oh, it was a blast until the cops showed up.
Well, okay,
like we left at the appropriate time, but it was just too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like for the purposes of like security and also exclusivity with your party, and for me, I just mentioned it because. You need to with any kind of experience of any kind of presentation, you want to lead the audience through from start to finish. Like you're making a sale here or whatever. So it's like, welcome to the party. Here's all the stuff you can do. I'm gonna stop pressuring you. Goodbye. Have fun. Right? So that's cool.
You want flow.
So staff, you're talking greeter, and then a security system.
Yeah.
Bathroom slave.
You need a bathroom slave.
Bathroom slave.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going black tie.
What's the guy's name with the little like he has to smell poop fumes all the time because he has to be in the bathroom.
And he doesn't do anything, but he expects a tip.
He just listens to you shit and then
having to listen to that.
Shit
is
listener.
Like, here's $5.
The shit listener is mandatory.
I feel like he's got like a 911 cell phone.
Now on
and if he hears the porcelain break, he's like.
Yeah.
Is that Well, I wonder if they're put there just to prevent like,
people from doing drugs.
Yeah, like drugs and sex going on in the bathroom. It's just like a pair of eyes.
A lot of it, yeah. It's another version of security, right?
Pair of dour British eyes.
I mean,
what kind of food do you serve at a black tie, brutal music experience?
You want someone with a lot of salt to like. Dehydrate your audience. So they get really screwed up.
What is our audience here in this? You say black tie, but what's the mood? Are they like business people?
Well, they're coming in to do drugs.
Are they fucking tell me, man.
Who
are you inviting?
Okay,
to this?
we're talking like Matthew McConaughey, Wall Street types who really want to just like get their.
So they start with their they start in black tie, and by the end of the evening.
But would you go to that party?
I would so go to that party.
You would you?
Probably not.
Neither would I.
Okay, so that's what the personality archetypes. That's why we got to know our audience.
Yeah.
This is a total aside here to get granular here. If you're making a buffet or whatever, you got to think about the flow. And this could be a drug buffet too, whatever.
This motherfucker's worked in catering.
Yeah.
Listen to stay a while and listen. Just you're now hearing me talk.
Welcome to the desert. the week.
Yes. So you come in. There's a table. You got to think about where your people are coming in and then leaving the table area.
Clearly, the plates are the far end of the table.
No.
Yeah. You put everything in your hands. There's no tongs.
You got plates first, forks, knives, napkins at the alternate end of the plate, ladies and gentlemen. I can't stress this enough. You don't want to, they already have a fork and knife in their hand. They're going to have serving ladles in their hand. You want to give them the fork and knife at the other end of the table, unless you want to just...
Yeah, why do you need a knife, like a fork and knife, if every food thing has a utensil?
Exactly.
You're not going to be eating in line. Like.
Exactly. If you have enough people, you can have your table against a wall and have them come in and sort of... I'm trying to paint a mental picture without gesticulating to nobody, but you have people sort of swooping in on one side and they pick up the plate and they go and they serve their stuff. Make sure you've got a roll of paper towel underneath that table, or at least a wet rag to wipe that business down halfway through if you got somebody making that right. And alternatively, if there's enough people, put the table in the middle of the big room with chafing dishes or dishes pointed on both sides. So there's two lines of people getting served.
Right.
And self-serve.
So in this party, though, do you need constant staff on that table? Because I've been to ones where it's like every tray has a person and they like serve you.
Well, if you got people on the floor doing walkarounds, but that's just for...
Well, what I'm saying is...
that's what we're doing.
We're doing walkarounds?
We're doing walkarounds.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
We already spent $2 million on the sommelier. Like, I'm not... Money's obviously not an object.
Then you need a staging area that's right outside the prep kitchen, and then you got hot items that are coming out. They're getting staged on the plates, and you got a team of people that either have full or empty plates, and they're making switches.
So I got a question for you, boys.
Yo.
What crucial part of your own advice have you already missed?
Know your audience?
No, we got that.
Okay.
We already answered that.
Can we
location? Where are you holding this party?
Well, depending on what you want to
150 people. That's
several hundred square feet. You want a dining hall?
Wrong.
What's this? House?
What about you?
I don't know. I mean, like, that's abandoned warehouse downtown. No, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Like, I haven't hosted a party of 150 people.
Sure.
I've been to one, and I was in one recently. It was in the gallery of a museum, but at night.
Very beautiful, but no.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yacht.
It has to be off the coast.
Yeah.
You've got cocaine as a fucking party gift.
You need international waters in order to make this all nice and legal.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, this party's starting to feel good. Starting to look good.
Okay, that changes a lot of things. Yeah.
This is all scalable, ladies and gentlemen. You think we're talking about something completely balderdash, poppycock, horse hockey, baloney. Get them all. But in fact, if
you could just do the same thing on one of those little pontoon boats.
That's right.
You and your friends.
You get a dinghy and a Mickey, and two men and a dog.
Two men go into
the dog is the sommelier.
The dog barks and you drink.
Oh man, this wine is rough.
Yeah,
but yeah, I guess so. If we're gonna go down all that route, there's gotta be music. So okay, food situation though. You said you're doing walkarounds. Does that mean that there is no table? They just you just have a random person showing up with a tray and you eat it? Because I was at this party that was at the museum. It was like that. There were like one or two dessert tables you can go and serve yourself, but also these people were walking around being like, here's some food. Here's some food.
You can imagine 3 tiers of large scale catering endeavors with large parties. You've got just walkarounds. You've got walkarounds or crudité on the walkarounds can be replaced with just a table with crudité, which is cold. Then you got hot hors d'oeuvres and hot self-serve, and then the third tier is sit down in a meal where people are coming to you with glass plates full of food that you don't serve yourself and they eat it. And
it's for this function that's too formal.
Keep it tier 2.
Yeah.
Hot food self-serve. So then what you want to do is you want to have walkarounds with hors d'oeuvres. Then you open up the Chinese style buffet, and then you close the buffet. You got a dessert station, and then more walkarounds for dessert.
Yeah, I like
the
this.
Same crew.
I like this. Yeah. Especially because the walkarounds give people a chance to try out new things. Because they'll come up to you and be like, donuts with cocaine on them. You're like, oh, interesting.
Cocaine nuts.
Yeah, and just other types of food, other drink, and a lot of times you're so busy you're having this amazing like conversation, or if this party's getting wild, you're like dancing on the floor or whatever, and it's like, yeah, but I really like a drink too, but I don't want to leave the party to go to the outskirts to get the beverage and come back.
I have been on the other side of that, where I've been like on as a caterer, because doing walkabouts is like the worst. Pass offs or whatever they're called, depends.
And walkabout.
There was like two like highfalutin business types, and they're like got their arms around each other and like blah 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 business, and I can tell, but they're really thirsty, and I'm just like, here's some wine, guys, here you go. And yeah, so that's like being a host at any scale. You want to make sure that your guests are fed and watered. How about video games or movies or screens of any type in this party or other
just
parties?
Let's just like enjoy.
Are you having fun yet? Yeah. That sounds like a legit like EDM.
Relax.
So
enjoy.
So explain to me what you're picturing when you see this party on a boat in international waters with just the dopest sick beats.
Yep.
What's happening in this party? What is the point?
Smash. I'm envisioning Smash Brothers. Somebody's playing Smash Brothers.
So it's your version of this is a Smash Bros tournament.
If you've got Blow.
A black tie, drug fueled.
Yeah.
Smash Brothers tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Diablo speedruns. Diablo 2 speedruns.
That's what you're perfect.
Land party in the engineering room.
Land party. Okay.
You've literally set sail on a slightly different party than I would have imagined, because I was not originally imagining throwing it for 150 people or adding drugs or adding a boat. So I'm already like kind of going, okay, hold on a second. How do I like get back
absurd,
to
if you will?
This is why I want to bring it back, because I want to see where you guys are.
All right, so let me get from where I am to the boat here. So
yeah, because I can see that like you started this with like, let's get 6 people together in a room and drink water and talk about life. Well, and I'm like, no, bitch.
No, but some of the points I wanted to make were even like things with music. I was saying before, some people put on the wrong kind of music, and you're like, either it's boring or it's too distracting, and you're like, oh, what is this? I want to hear what it is.
Too much lyrics.
And then you're just got 6 people listening to music, and it's the same as going to the theater and staring at a screen.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So. All right, so we're on this boat, 150 people. That's a lot. So what are we celebrating? We are celebrating, I guess my company got bought. Like, I started a new company, it got bought by Google, I guess.
Sick. Okay.
Right?
Multi-billionaire.
Like, I want a big thing, and I don't think 150 people are going to show up for, like, my birthday. So I'm like, all right. So big company thing. But then are these employees of the company then? No, I don't like that.
Friends, like, well, I mean, it could be employees, but maybe it was like your like close confidants and people that like you build your company with.
Maybe it's some people I know, some people I work with, and some just venture capitalists, just people like I got this boat on the edge of California, and all these rich people who live there are like, you're the new up and comer, you just made $1 billion.
A couple of celebrities.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, then in terms of what's on the screen, I don't even know if I'm not really a fan of screens at a party.
So there's a screen in yours.
Yeah.
There would be a screen in mine.
Yeah. Well, you need it for the Diablo speedruns.
You want the Diablo speedruns are happening at the mizzen mast, and on the poop deck is where all the food is happening.
You've never been on a cruise ship or
And then starboard bow on the port is where all was the washrooms.
He's
there.
heard boat words.
Yeah.
And he's seen pictures of boats. But he's not sure how the two of them interact.
I know that port is on the left because when you drink port wine, there's none left, and the port is where the port hole is, and that's where the ramp will go down on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Indisputable facts.
Port in, starboard home.
Sure.
Posh. Port out, starboard home.
There you go.
That's where posh came from.
Put it on the left.
Yeah.
Port has 4 letters, so does left.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, that's another way. So do I have to have screens? Is that what you're saying? Or are you asking?
You don't have to. I'm asking you what your hypothetical 150 person drug fueled rap party.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's already some provisos, quid pro quos. But yeah, okay. There's no screens. It's distracting. You want people to be because I find that you can't, unless you're already into the sommelier table, you can't be on energy wise the whole time.
No.
So usually what I do is I have things in the background or milestones of events or activities that bring people back into it, but also let them calm the fuck down and get back into it. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So, but if this is a big thing like that, it's a more subtle but also not subtle way. And I know that makes no sense, but basically at like a smaller party, be like, oh, there's music that carries the mood, and then it's like, boom, here's some food, here's some, later on there's like an event. 150 people, you got the sommelier thing, you got food being carried around.
Don't forget you have the rest of the boat.
Yeah.
People can just go into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. What would I'd want the, I don't know, it seems too academic. I gotta remember the fact that this is a drug-fueled boat. Because I'm like, oh, I would like fill the boat with like interesting things and people could go check out. Like,
ball pits.
It's a museum. It can't be a museum if it's 150 people.
It could be a 150 drug-filled floating museum. This would be Dallas's fantasy.
Because my experience of people who are on drugs is either they sit down and they do nothing or they go insane.
Depends on the drug.
Yeah, exactly.
Why? Very specific.
So you would curate your drug table.
Maybe by area.
But also, like, you could have museum stuff, just no originals, man.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I want to throw out a Jack Kerouac quote while Dallas is thinking about his floating drug museum.
Time for your Jack Kerouac moment.
So, Jack... Typewriters. Smith Corona. Jack Kerouac said that the heart of every party, at least every house party, lies in the kitchen. And the reason why I thought is because there's a water source, but that's kind of a bit on the nose. But what it got me thinking about is I would always invariably gravitate towards the kitchen, because the kitchen to me was like where all the cool people would go to like cool off from the living room part of a house party. The living room would be where like the 12, 13 people, 12 or 20 people would be all like jabbering and talking and laughing and drinking. But then if you wanted to like refill your drink or just like have a moment away, because I'm kind of introverted like that, I would go to the kitchen and there'd be like 2 or 3 people, and we'd have more like deep, meaningful conversations with those 2 or 3 people, and then more people would come into that area, and then they would splinter off again. I think about this a lot in the variety of house parties I've been in. But whether you're serving 150 drunken Matthew McConaughey's a la Wall Street, or if you just have 25 people in your house,
yeah, you gotta get those numbers up.
You wanna have.
All right.
They keep staying the same age. You want to have a variety of areas for your party.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know what is, like, for instance, you got a bunch of people. They have all their coats. Put their coats in a bed. Is that bed accessible to your party people? You want to make sure your party people know where they can and where they can't go. And then when that boundary is established, you want to say, okay, well, how about the living room, the kitchen, the basement, the rec room, and then maybe this person's bedroom can all be a person you hate. All
you
those
really don't understand how boats work, huh?
I'm talking about a house party, baby. I can talk about the mizzen mast, the port, the poop deck, the captain, the mess hall.
So
different areas too.
Here's how it goes. Okay. You have a boat that's shuttling people to your yacht, right? It's a it's a mega yacht, and at the other end of the yacht is a helipad.
Okay.
Right, for your celebrities, for your guest appearances, for your fucking
your Logan Pauls, if you will.
1%.
You want to fly like a giraffe in there. It's crazy.
Awesome.
That's your giraffe.
Your Saudi oil princes.
Yeah. You have an opening, like a beginning area that's like the living room of your party, where it's
cool.
There's music, it's loud, like whatever. You have people greeting them to get them there and to tell them what to do.
Is that a dance floor?
The whole fucking yacht.
It is, but I think you would need a
flat tie.
When you're in Coke, everything's a dance floor. Michael.
Well, what you do is you start. Basically, I'm imagining the mood of the party. If you were to slide the playback of the party, you start formal as hell.
Yes.
And by the end of the night, you're shirts ripped open, your ties around your head.
Yeah,
You've got 3 different colors of drugs on you.
Yeah.
And you've had a great time. So you gotta lead them from one to the other.
It's a journey.
So that's what I'm thinking. The dance floor wouldn't be right there. Maybe that's where, right at the beginning would be the people being welcome to the party. Welcome to the SS Mega Yacht Fun Time Show. Whatever.
The Unsinkable 2.
Yeah, yeah. And,
God. What happened to the first one? I sold it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you kind of ease them in to that whole thing, and then the sommelier comes up pretty fast because going from zero to drugs is a bit of a turnaround, but you kind of need the drugs to get them from zero to the end of the party.
Yeah, so you gotta get on the hot button.
You need it like if there's like 10 stages of this party, you need it at like stage 2, basically. Mm-hmm. Dance floor is maybe 3. And that's a considerable part. And the music is playing all over the ship, but there's different volumes of it. I want for food. I want there to be like, and then I'd have to probably specially design this yacht, but I would want there to be like an inner kitchen.
Yep.
And outside of that, what is it called? Is it Benihana? With like onion volcano?
Is the dudes that are like chopping shit up super fast?
So I want an inner kitchen that is like, that's the true one. That's
the kitchen kinorum.
And I want the one that's here that's also entertainment kitchen.
Ah.
And you can pass through it if you want. You can sit down and join what's going on. Hey! And the guy like will throw, like he'll look at you, and if he knows you're ready, he'll throw like some
shrimp, boiling hot egg at you.
Like, you catch it in the air as you go through. And then... Yeah, then after that is like some kind of specially curated kind of slow down kind of area. Depending on how big this boat is, maybe you have like a glass floor or like a transparent floor so you can like see crazy ass fish. Or maybe there's like, if you want to go crazy with it, maybe just have like women with air tanks just like mermaiding under the boat.
Men too. We'll be inclusive.
Man-maids. Man-maids.
Mailmen?
Man-maids, yeah.
Just no people.
Yeah, and like it depends on how like you can just hire a troupe that does it. You can hire a troupe that does this, and they'll do anything between like just like floating around and waving, or like pretending to be the mer people, or maybe they'll like reenact something. Like,
Die Hard.
Yeah.
No, Die Hard, but underwater.
Magnolia. Yeah, love it. And then half of the fun is you're like, oh, that's cool, I'm going to walk away. And you're like, wait, that's Die Hard. And then we're just like, what? And they're like, what? And then someone's like, oh, would you like one of these, like, croissant sandwiches? And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. And, like, yeah, so I want that.
Repair the next watch so you can put the watch on the bottom of the helicopter to have the mermaid slip her hand through and look up at the next person to make eye contact and then kick off and go, oh!
Yeah, and then, the helicopter is at the far end, and it's coming in and going out, not, like, constantly, but, like, once every half hour. It just takes off and brings back somebody completely different. Michael Cera shows up, and he has no idea why or where or what he's doing.
So you have kidnapped Michael Cera.
The black bag just comes off.
Yeah, but he's just like, okay, I'm here.
It's cool.
So if I'm reading it correctly, the purpose of your party is to foster an experience that is unique to all the people that come. Something that they will leave and then tell their kids about.
Yeah, when you started putting these like size and like and like a party we would not personally go to, I was like, okay, the scenario is let me tell you the situation. No, but the scenario is I've sold my company to Google. I am king shit.
Yeah.
And so in order to do that, I want to have a party that it creates a ridiculously unique, memorable experience, so that even if I come up with no ideas for the rest of my life.
People will still talk about it.
And they'll still like give me money because they're like, that guy,
legendary.
That guy knows what he's doing. Like
Patreon.
The way he marketed that party, there are people in the real world who just limp by on the reputation they earned from one job.
Hell yeah,
and
they do.
That's a hell of a job.
Yeah.
So yours, Alex,
can I change my idea?
No.
Okay.
You piece of shit.
I got a really good one.
All right, what is it?
Okay. It's still gonna be a yacht. The yacht's going to be, I can't remember it's going to be a giant cylinder, and it's going to be floating vertically. It's going to be the yacht, and the yacht is going to be either 7 or 9 levels, and it's going to be Dante's Yacht.
I was going to say, you're going to make Dante's Yachtferno.
So the helicopters will come at the top, and there will be a man in 16th century Italian robes, and his partner, who's a scribe, who's writing down what he says, and that will be the drug sommelier. And as they descend down the yacht's going to be one-way mirrors, so you can look in but not out. So to the people coming into the helicopter, they get to see all 7 to 9 levels of yacht hell. But then you come in and then you start to investigate, and you get to go down. Each subsequent level is associated with a different sin and a different drug. So like lust would be like pot, and like manservants, like maidservants, all the way to the bottom where it's like icy heroin town.
Just gonna jump in. It
Please.
doesn't have to be a cylinder. Think of the Titanic when there's the scene where they
Oh,
go in the
yeah.
elevator and they're like posh Irish people.
Oh.
Like, you know.
Oh yeah, you're
Just
right.
different deck.
Okay, we don't have to construct a cylindrical yacht.
You can't change your party.
Okay, so currently,
So currently yours is a land
formerly
party.
your question was.
What my question was, how would you make a party that fits in these constraints of 150 people, drugs are available, and it has to play rap music while being black tie?
I would probably have some sort of Eyes Wide Shut-esque maze where you'd have a variety of Rococo-style rooms. And you ever seen the movie Cube or Cube 2 Hypercube?
Is that the weird, really?
Of course, it's called Hypercube.
Is that the weird one with like
It's very weird.
Jennifer? No.
It's a Canadian horror film from the late
This
90s,
is 98, maybe something.
Oh.
featuring a cube that you go into and then saw things happen to you until you escape to the next cube.
Yeah,
And
precisely.
this is what you want.
But it would be like the rooms, you would go in, and then the door you came out of would lead to a different room.
Right.
And every room would be lavishly appointed with like Rococo style furniture, and it's like the party would be completely nice and fine, and there's nothing, nothing up with it until you start to go on drugs and you try to leave.
Okay, but why?
Oh, I want to drive people insane. That would be
That's your goal?
the goal, because the goal, like everything is completely fine except when you try to leave because you're on drugs. And things are getting a bit too real.
But you're assuming that everyone's going to do drugs.
Well, maybe we could have some sort of Batman Scarecrow scenario where, like, you're pumping in gas.
So you want to actively assault your guests.
Well, if
think-
drugs are illegal. If it was in international waters.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying
I think
my
that's
goal's to
fucked up.
punish Wall
I also
Street.
know like that's a party of one, like, right?
Like, you're the one who's having a party.
I am
in
in the
Are you
control
are
room.
you sitting in the control? Yeah,
That's
with all the
it.
cameras.
Plying my
with the
fingers.
sommelier.
Yeah, and he's and there's like a
Very good.
Westworld scenario, and like things are moving all over the place. It's like, okay,
Wow.
really just want to leave here. It's like, what's that? Beyond the Black Rainbow, or like A Cure for Wellness. There's all these movies where you come in and everything's perfectly fine, and then shit starts happening, and
And then you can't leave.
some in the water,
So
and you try to leave.
You want
and,
to get out the boat movie.
yeah, exactly.
So-
Get off of the
All right,
boat.
So Dallas wants to have a party.
Yeah.
You want to have a war crime.
and
And
I'm trying to fun here.
all I want is to get the Queen of England to really be into Exhibit. That was my goal the whole time. I wanted to make a party where the Queen of England would be like, you know what? This stuff's pretty cool.
Get that
I
hip
think
hop.
she would have I think she could at least consider my party.
I'm sure she would, but like I was thinking like,
I was
Like-
gonna ask, like, because we even asking us, like,
yeah,
how-
that was by design.
Yeah.
Don't you think the Queen of England would be into trap music though, because she's like a geriatric and she would take pain meds before like
No,
doing
she's
smack?
like hardcore, like
She's
early
fucking-
'90s.
She's
She's like
fucking hardcore
naughty by
shit,
nature.
my friend.
so.
Onyx.
So
Okay.
how would you plan this party?
So I would absolutely have a similar experience, probably more similar to Dallas's than Alex's.
Sure. Yes.
Well,
Because I don't hate my guests.
It's cool. It's great. Yeah. It'll be nice.
But
for
I would say that the boat would be docked
Okay.
on shore, at which point everyone could come aboard. They would be able to show off all their fancy vehicles if they so chose. There would
Yes,
also
you do.
be a city bus that you could take,
Very lovely.
because I would not limit it to wealthy people. I would say as long as you can make it here, I will provide you with the clothes required
A populist approach. Very.
and instructions on how to engage in a black tie social event.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like the pockets would come with a little cue card that would say,
That's
like,
really cool.
This is what is expected of you. This is the kind of fork that you use for shrimp, etc., etc.
I see.
And I would load everyone onto the boat, quietly playing like the overtures to various albums.
Mhm.
So it's just music, no words yet,
I see.
right? And get everyone settled in what I would describe as a grand hall,
Sure.
right? So
Yeah.
with drinks and and hors d'oeuvres and all that stuff on the boat. Let people explore while the ship sets sail, with the various different rooms with options. All musical though, like the different kinds of music. Still from the rap, hip hop, sort of
instrumentals,
genre, but instrumentals. And then as the further you get from land, the closer the party comes to beginning. At which point, once you hit international waters, you meet up with a cigarette boat just full of fucking drugs. The sommelier sets up his table, but with a very much like a skill testing question beforehand. Like he's like, I'm not gonna serve you. Why? Because you're gonna get fucked up and you're just gonna ruin the experience for yourself, right? And with a sit down meal beforehand, I'm thinking live music.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, I would get a couple of the big name bands from the late '90s and early 2000s.
O-Town.
Yep. Oh shit, the Wu-Tang Clan. I'd get as much of them as I could.
Okay, yeah, no. ODB.
Yeah. And see if they would
Jurassic
be interested.
5.
See if they'd be interested in coming out, doing a couple of sets. There's a couple of songs each, I guess, and then having them talk about their music in between. Just see if everyone can have a good time and learn about
the nature of hip hop.
Yeah.
I think that'd be very effective because their inhibitions would be lowered because they'd be on drugs. They would feel empowered.
I don't think that the Queen of England is going to do drugs, even if there's a great sommelier. I feel like her Secret Service would be like, Mom, you cannot.
Mom, SI-7? Was it FI? One of them is from World of Warcraft. Is it SI-6 or SI-7?
I don't know.
SI-6?
MI5 is the, like...
Oh, maybe that is. Anyway, World of Warcraft is a fake one.
Well,
closing thoughts for the perfect party?
I mean, do what you want, but make sure that your guests want to do it too, Mr. Like Geneva Boat.
Consent is an important part of any
the
party.
SS Warsaw will be the name of my boat. Very good.
Yeah.
Does your party end with like the boat just sinking so no one can like?
No. One person leaves. It'll be like Fortnite. One person can get out.
And then
is it you?
No. I give it no.
He's not there. He's remotely connected.
It's like a Doom bot. It's like you get my $1 million or whatever. Here's this party. All you gotta do is have fun at a party. You'll get $50 billion.
Yeah, but like they get to the end, it's like there's no money. I spend it all on this party.
The friendship was the true.
I mean
the friend game.
From start to finish, you got to know your audience, and you got to have a reason for the party, and you got to have kind of for me, leading through from one thing to the other. Maybe not completely explicitly, but making sure that there is a flow, both of space, food, people, events, music. For me, it's the flow, because if you start off and it's just crazy and then it gets really like quiet, then your party ends halfway through. So for me, it's all about the flow, from either from one event to another or from one set of time to another. But yeah, how about you guys?
Cook your food thoroughly and make sure no one's allergic.
That's a good advice.
Yeah.
My advice is brush your teeth before you go to bed, and then when you wake up.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of crime accumulates overnight because you tend to breathe through your mouth.
It's very good.
Number
one advice for porn actors, by the way, is flossing.
Really?
Yeah. Pro porn people tell other porn people to be like floss. Floss.
I'm surprised.
Interesting.
Oh.
The more
you don't want your teeth to get pregnant.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all very much for listening. Feel free to drop some comments like, what the hell was that? And we hope you enjoy, obviously, and we'll see you maybe in a month.
I want to hear about your 150-person hip-hop.
Yeah, definitely. Drop it below. We will delve into the YouTube comments until we all go insane.
Yeah. Bye!
See ya.